The people that you put your faith and your trust in is a reflection of your own leadership. That Adams continued to associate himself with Winnie Greco, with Ingrid, after so many clear examples of their corruption. It showcases what he is willing to sacrifice, and that is the public, in order to protect those that he knows personally.
Hi, Mr. Mamdani. How are you doing, sir?
Doing well. How are you, sir?
A plan to move beyond some of this corruption. Respectfully, I think a lot of New Yorkers in good faith are asking, how is this 33-year-old assemblyman going to be able to better control the sprawling democracy that is New York City government than some of these politicians that have been doing it longer? So how will you end the corruption? Specifically, how will you put controls in place to prevent this sort of stuff from happening?
You know, one virtue of being 33 years old is I don't have a 40-year-old relationship with someone that I owe favors to in the manner that we've seen with Mayor Adams and his closest aide, who's now being accused of accepting tens of thousands of dollars in bribes. And I think to your point, however, we have to make it clear that there is no room for patronage or corruption in our administration or in our city. And the first thing that you do is ensure that the people that you hire are characterized by excellence, by a track record of delivery, not by how long they've known you or that they know you at all. And furthermore, you take the measures necessary at the technical and procurement levels, because part of these allegations are also about the steering of city contracts to favored donors. We have to end this era of no-bid contracts. We have to take the reforms that would not only save New Yorkers hundreds of millions of dollars through their institution, but would also restore some of that faith. And there's legislation that's also been put forward in the council by Councilmember Ressler that would institute lobbying bans for elected officials that would start to create a more rational separation between the work of government and the work of those that are lobbying government. And lastly, part of this corruption, it's also about the sense of impunity that has bred in our politics for far too long. The Independent Budget Office put forward a recommendation to hire additional tax auditors that would not only ensure that the city collects more revenue from already instituted taxes, but that it would also showcase that no one is above the laws that we have in place. And this is the belief that we need to instill in all of the politics that we do.
Yeah, and Nick.
Yes, Mr. Mamdani, Adams will say, and has said, that whatever has happened here has happened without his knowledge. He is also emphasizing the fact that he's not been accused of any wrongdoing in any aspect of this new revelation. So what's your response to that?
The people that you put your faith and your trust in is a reflection of your own leadership. That Adams continued to associate himself with Winnie Greco, with Ingrid, after so many clear examples of their corruption. It showcases what he is willing to sacrifice, and that is the public, in order to protect those that he knows personally. I mean, these are the same names we have read in the papers for months, and now they are back again with new accusations. And for a mayor to say that, how could I have known better, is one that is willfully blind to the realities of the people that he keeps putting in the highest positions of power. And one additional thing I'll say is, it's not just about personal enrichment. Part of this story is about the willingness of the Adams administration to prevent street safety improvements at McGinnis Boulevard at the request of top donors to that same administration. And those donors knew that if they provided enough catering to a Gracie Mansion event, if they put the mayor's top aide in a cameo speaking role in The Godfather of Harlem, then they could ensure that that road diet would be cut in half. And the whole reason there's advocacy for that street safety improvement is because a local teacher was killed by a Rolls Royce at that same site. New Yorkers need a mayor who's thinking about safety first, not about the possibility of enrichment of his closest friends. Thank you.
On-topic question. Yeah, Emily. On-topic.
President Trump is ready to rip up the laws of this country every single day that he leads his administration. We've seen that already with what he's done in California, what he's doing in D.C., and what we know is that New York deserves someone who will actually stand up and fight back, not someone who's calling him in the hopes of overturning the will of Democratic primary voters across this city. And I address these issues because when I go across this city, one of the real opponents that I face in our politics, it's not any of the names that you mentioned. It's a lack of faith. It's a question of why should I vote at all? And the references to incidents like this. And I understand where that disbelief comes from because it's rational if you're seeing a city for sale in this manner to ask why you should believe in those who want to lead that same city. And so I address these issues because I'm not just seeking to defeat Andrew Cuomo. I already did that. I'm not just seeking to defeat Eric Adams. He's doing it to himself. I'm seeking to inspire New Yorkers to believe in local government's ability to respond to their actual needs each and every day.
Thank you. Yeah, Georgia.
What would you do if President Trump was to take over the NYPD like he's done in Washington, D.C.?
Well, he wouldn't take over the NYPD. He might seek to federalize the National Guard of New York. And what I would make clear is that so much of what is being done under the auspices of safety is actually putting New Yorkers in danger. We need only look at what's happening in D.C. and the transformation of that city into something more akin to a police state. I am excited and ready at the opportunity to work with the NYPD to create true public safety. And I trust those same officers to deliver that. And what we are seeing in Donald Trump's proposal is one that shows he does not want the NYPD to be in control of the city. He wants his own officers through the National Guard from wherever in this country, whereas I believe that the best people to protect New Yorkers are the New Yorkers in uniform today.
Okay, thank you. We've got time for two more. We'll go to Matthew the Post right here.
Hey, Matthew the Post. You know, I said that Adams should not be the mayor close to a year ago when he was first indicted. And I continue to believe that he has chosen to put himself forward at the expense of New Yorkers. We have seen a circus in City Hall for so much time while New Yorkers are in dire need of leadership. And the ethics reform that is necessary. I think, you know, the legislation from Councilman Ressler that I cited is one of interest, but I also am open to other suggestions of how we can restore faith. And I look to a number of independent assessments of what it means to turn past the era of the resuscitation of Tammany Hall-style politics so that we can bring more and more New Yorkers in to that same democracy that seeks to represent them. Look, I think that Eric Adams is making a very clear case for the kind of politics that he stands for. And I made my views clear close to a year ago. Clearly, they did not mean much to the mayor then. They don't mean much to the mayor now. And I have the same trust that I have put in New Yorkers to make the decision that they've already shown in the primary they are looking to make. Because it is a decision about ending this era of politics, and it is not an era specific to Eric Adams. Corruption did not begin with this mayor. It has flourished, however, under him.
All right, Leah.
I think it is horrific news, and I am thankful at the early reports that officer is going to recover from those injuries, and I keep him and his family in my prayers, and I look forward to an investigation as to how this occurred.
Thank you guys so much.
You know, I have appreciated the governor's focus on this outbreak, and the fact of the matter is that the city could have done far more. This outbreak is one that we have to understand in the context of how the city has responded to Legionnaires in years past. 2017, the city investigated more than 5,000 sites for Legionnaires. This year, we are on course for just about half of that. And that's not even to speak of the city's interest or lack thereof in issuing or following up on any of these violations. I have been heartened to see the actions of Reverend Sharpton in lodging a lawsuit against some of the private actors in construction around the abrogation of responsibility to this crisis. But the city should be taking this far more seriously, and I'm appreciative of the fact that the state is looking into this.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Over right here.
I'm thankful for the support of New Yorkers and for the fact that we continue to show that we are the choice of people across the 5 boroughs. Thank you very much. Thank you.